Bienvenidos a Carolina Ahora, Noticias en Spanglish. Soy Aaliyah Mitchell.
And I'm Henri Dixon. We begin today with a new development in President Trump's crackdown on immigration. Another federal judge has ruled blocking Trump's executive order to end birthright citizenship, a guarantee that those born in the U.S. or its territories are U.S. citizens. On his first day in office, Trump signed the executive order. The judge said Trump's executive order is in conflict with the 14th Amendment. In his executive order, President Trump says the 14th Amendment should not be interpreted to extend citizenship to everyone born in the U.S.
Thank you. Grandes cambios en política migratoria ya están tomando lugar y están afectando a miles de familias en todo el país. En esta semana de impacto, Zoe Sinclair les trae los detalles que necesitan saber. Zoe?
In less than a month in his new presidency, Donald Trump has kept his promises and cracked down on immigration. Let's break down the details. Trump began to make his mark on day one, declaring churches and schools as no longer protected safe havens for undocumented immigrants. ICE raids and immigration officials are now authorized to use their own jurisdiction and, quote, common sense when enforcing the law. ICE is also now posting updates on what has become thousands of arrests and detainers carried out across the country. Here at Carolina, Chancellor Lee Roberts announced that the university will comply if U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement seeks to find undocumented students on campus. UNC's Student Government Executive Branch posted a Know Your Rights carousel on Instagram, informing students on their rights, how to make a plan, and legal recommendations.
Now, the Trump administration has announced an end to temporary protected status, or TPS, for thousands of Venezuelan immigrants in the United States. TPS grants temporary legal status to individuals from countries facing conflict or natural disasters. This policy change impacts 600,000 people, with protections for 350,000 set to expire in April and the rest in September. Maria Di Carlo has lived in the U.S. for over 6 years. She is 9 months pregnant with her second child, and she has a teenage daughter applying to college. And ultimately, these complexities are making her more anxious about losing her protection.
That's the only option that we have, the TPS. I mean, it's not any other way for us to be.
Maria's protection expires in September, leaving her future uncertain. The Department of Homeland Security says the program has been abused and that conditions in Venezuela have improved enough to end TPS.
We are paying taxes, we are really hard workers, and I know that some people can be bad, but it is less than those who came here to work.
Advocates for the program say that majority of immigrants are not criminals, and the conditions in Venezuela remain perilous with slow recovery.
Cecilia Martinez Gallardo, a political science professor at UNC, says the U.S. government's diplomatic shifts don't necessarily help TPS holders.
The fact that the U.S. government is actually reestablishing relationships with the Maduro government doesn't really help people with TPS because it's the government they don't want to go back to.
Despite maintaining ties with Venezuela's opposition, the U.S. is working with Maduro's government on deportations, a conflicted policy that leaves TPS holders anxious.
They have ties with the opposition and have continued to recognize the opposition, right, and support the opposition, and yet are negotiating with Maduro to kind of have the government receive these deportees.
With deadlines approaching, thousands of Venezuelans now face tough decisions about their future.
Nuestro equipo habló con el presidente de College Republicans at UNC acerca de sus opiniones en inmigración. Documented immigrants to acknowledge they had broken the law. Trout also said they had mixed feelings about the executive actions.
I would prefer if some of these same policy goals were done through actual legislation, not executive orders, but I do recognize that would take a lot longer, and that with regards to Trump's policy objectives.
This semester, Carolina is continuing Elevando Voices, a segment where we uplift leaders in the Latinx community.
And today we have Dr. Carolina Vera, a professor here at Carolina. Dr. Vera is also the president of Build Your Smile Dental Foundation USA, which provides dental care to underserved communities worldwide. For 15 years, she has led the annual UNC Mexico project that connects dental students and professionals to improve dental care in rural Mexico over the summer. Her hands-on approach has helped bring much-needed care to isolated areas, where she tells us some people use charcoal and twigs to clean their teeth. She says that every time that she goes back to Mexico, she feels it experiences true joy. She's gone up mountains in different places with a backpack on her back in villages far away with a little medical or dental box.
The project focuses on education, prevention, and direct patient care. Dr. Vera is working to make their mission a reality, both in Mexico and in Latino communities across the United States. Now, let's turn to Kaya for a new segment on Latinx athletes.
Thank you, Henri. In our weekly athlete highlight, we introduce you Diego Hari from Santiago, Chile. Santiago de Chapel Hill, Diego Hari makes a name for himself. As a part of the UNC men's tennis team, a transfer student from St. Mary's College in California, Hari says that he has found a home at Carolina. Tennis is not something new for Hari, as he says he never remembers starting to play tennis. There's always a racket in his home in Chile. While tennis may not be too different between the two countries, Hari says that being an international student is a challenge within itself, saying that his friends back home cannot imagine going to a school in English and playing a sport and caring for his mental health. Here's what he has to say about the experience overall.
Es totalmente distinta a ser solo un estudiante, porque uno termina los 4 años en la universidad y termina apasionado y con un gran amor de la universidad que se graduó.
You can catch Hari on the courts this weekend playing against the Citadel in the Chewing Tennis Center Saturday from 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. Now let's hear from Anna for an update on sports.
Fue un excelente fin de semana para mí a los Super Bowl in New Orleans. After the Philadelphia Eagles hoisted the Lombardi Trophy, stopping the Kansas City Chiefs' chances of a three-peat on Sunday, it marked the end of the NFL season and the start of the baseball one. The Diamond Heels will look a lot different in 2025, with many key players in last year's College World Series run being drafted, including, you know it, All-American outfielder Vance Honeycutt. But they still have a high ceiling, with Jason DeCaro returning on the mound and Luke Stevenson behind the plate. Both now in their sophomore campaigns, they come in with more experience after very successful freshman years. And not to mention the addition of multiple hope-to-be impact transfers. UNC baseball kicks off their season tomorrow with a doubleheader at the Bosch starting at noon against Texas Tech. And another Diamond sport that got going earlier this month is UNC softball, whose home opener is against Drexel at 3 p.m. today. Carolina is much improved coming off a 2024 season after the addition of their new coaching staff with Megan Smith-Lyon. With more confidence coming into this year, the Tar Heels have their eyes set on one goal and one goal only, reaching the NCAA tournament. Aaliyah, which sport are you most excited to see this spring?
Honestly, I'm excited for all of the ones we have. Gracias, Ana. No puedo esperar para verlo este semestre. Carolina ahora les pregunta un nuevo segmento, Cosas Nuestras. Alfonso está aquí con nosotros para presentarlo. Alfonso, cuéntanos, ¿qué nos tienes?
Thank you, Leah. I went out and talked to some Tar Heels about Latin music, so let's take a look. Cosas Nuestras, where we highlight Latinx representation in the media. So I'm here with Juan,
Karen,
Nicole, and Nicole. So thank you guys so much for doing this. As you know, Shakira just won Best Latin Pop Album Grammy, so we're here today to see maybe you can tell us one of your favorite songs. So a little this or that moment, all right? So we're gonna start off with Te Felicito or Te Quiero Ver.
te felicito.
Te Felicito, okay. Or Viscerap, Music Lessons, está bueno. Yo voy con la Viscerap. ¿Viscerap o La Tortura?
Uy, La Tortura, esas buenas. No, es Bizarrap.
Bizarrap.
Bizarrap. Yes, that song is iconic.
Viscerap o Suerte, whenever.
No, Bizarrap.
Bizarrap. Okay.
Guys, I don't know their kind.
Bizarrap or Addicted to You?
Oh, addicted to you. Sorry. Sorry. Yo me quedo con Bizarrap, guys.
Bizarrap. Okay.
Sorry.
Okay, Bizarrap or Hips Don't Lie?
Ooh,
Hips Don't Lie. Hips Don't Lie.
Hips Don't Lie.
Okay. Hips Don't Lie or Loba?
Loba. Loba.
Loba or Loca?
Loca.
Loca.
Yeah, Loca.
Yeah. Loca?
I was
Okay.
thinking about that. That one's iconic. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So that's it for now.
Thank you.
Loca won. So I'll see you next time. Go Tar Heels.
Thank you so much, Alfonso. A new art exhibit opened on campus. Last Thursday, Haynes Art Center welcomed 14 new pieces by Puerto Rican-American artist and Professor Wanda Raimundi Ortiz. The pieces are a part of the Llémame Pa'l Monte collection. The large pan pastel paintings explore Puerto Rican plants, rivers, and trees. Raimundi Ortiz explained that the artwork was inspired by her trip to the islands, mountains. Each painting is modeled after the pictures she took while exploring the nature of Puerto Rico. When asked why it is important to share this side of the island right now, given the Trump administration comments on the Latinx community, she responded with this.
Regardless of who is inhabiting that space, Puerto Rico is still a commonwealth or colony among the other colonized places. It is the closest to the mainland and I think the most misunderstood.
The artwork is held at the John and June Alcott Gallery in the Haynes Art Center. You can view the pieces until March 16th. Bueno, gracias por ver a Carolina Ahora.
And make sure to follow us on Instagram at Carolina Ahora UNC.
Sintoniza el próximo martes para ver otro programa. Y feliz día de San Valentín.